I want a man that doesn't want any other woman, she's either retarded or that sentence makes perfect sense.
Saying like, be for real. Like, you okay with me, my homeboys, and you still like, I'm still cool with my homeboys, and you want me to still be cool with you, your homegirls, and y'all cool and tight? Like, no, that's that.
All right, let me ask you a question though.
So this is, from what I gathered, she actually is making a decent point that often comes up that hasn't really been any advancement in terms of what the red pill has to say about things. The idea that it's just unequal for men to be able to exercise options and women not to be able to exercise options makes sense, but not to those who are not willing to listen. And it doesn't seem like whether it's Fresh and Fit or anybody else has come up with a good way of explaining why it is that the people who subscribe to that believe that. We have the talking points, but they're obviously not understanding. And so that seems to be a sticking point with so many of these red pill guys. And so that's the other underlying question. Is it the red pill itself, or is it the people who are talking about it?
Would you, let's say you're with a guy that you like, you love and you admire, right? And you respect him. Would you realistically want to have sex with other men?
No, I don't want to have sex with nobody else.
Okay, exactly. Now let me flip it.
And that right there, they understand it. They get it. They don't want to be out there and do whatever. It's the inequality between I'm allowed to do this and you're not. And so the goal has to be to explain that in a way that they understand. Even if you're right, if the people you are trying to convince don't understand what you're saying, then you're not really accomplishing anything.
If that guy's in a relationship with you and he loves you, you know what the reality is? He wants to have sex with other girls.
I'm sure of it.
Okay. So
you're right.
So when so what you're arguing right now, saying, well, that's like me having sex with my homeboys. Well, not really, because you don't want to. You don't really want to do that.
On my behalf, no.
Okay, you would not want it.
No.
Okay. But you do understand that a guy, even if he loves you, wants to have sex with other girls most of the time.
You're right.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying is because you were trying to say it's equal. Like, oh, well, that's like me having sex with my homeboys. And I'm trying to say it's not because you don't really want to have sex with them if you're with a man that you love. Versus he's with you, he loves you, but he definitely still wants to have sex with his homegirls. That's what
I'm actually, I was a little annoyed originally when I first started playing this, and it was kind of not where I wanted it to be. But this is giving us a good idea of who we're dealing with in the conversation. We know Fresh and Fit, we know Sneako, we know Destiny, but just getting a little flavor of who is on the panel and what is the vibe of the room and the conversation before we get to the debate itself. That's actually, you guys know me. I love that context.
Yeah, I'm just saying men and women are different. Like,
really.
Hey, we got Trey in the building. Welcome, brother. Says the problem with the red pill is that all the frauds are also great marketers. So they've been able to snatch the attention while really not good people or as helpful as they think. I think that is 100% correct. The fact is, the reason a show like Fresh and Fit has gotten so big is exactly what Trey's talking about, is that they are good marketers. Now, there's also the part that we have to take into account that the YouTube algorithm is a game that you have to play. And so, we've been talking about Just Pearly Things a lot and how she's not necessarily the greatest content creator in the world, but she's been blowing up because she's been playing the algorithm. Being a great marketer is definitely something that will help you play the algorithm, even if the information that you're giving is not ideal, or even if it's accurate, you're just not giving it in the best way, which this definitely isn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, women naturally don't want to be hoes if they're with the guy that they love, admire, and respect.
You're right, but a dude would definitely still have love for the girl, but he still want to hoe up.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, if you know that guys want to do that, would you be okay with your guy stepping out, knowing the reality that most guys just want to have multiple women? Would you be okay with that, knowing that, now that you understand the reality?
But in that situation, that's why you got to know what.
Notice how there's never just an answer to the question. Well, technically, I mean, I guess if you mean this qualification and that qualification, if you mean this, yes or no, the question was clear.
Exactly. What type of, what you're looking for in the dude, like, what you want to, what you want to put up with, what you want to deal with.
Have you ever had a dream?
Well, knowing well, my question to you is, I want to try to get a direct answer here, is knowing that most men want to have sex with most girls. I'm saying if you're with the guy that you love and you respect, are you willing to put up with that, knowing that there's a high likelihood it'll happen?
I'm not for you if you want to do that. No.
So you want a man to be monogamous to you only?
If it's 100, if it's real, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, you want him to be monogamous to you?
Yeah. It's not possible.
Right. I think there's, to be clear,
some women are willing to.
So this is where things start to go left, because that is a super normal answer to that question. And they just sat there as if they didn't just have this whole conversation and following the logic that she understands that. It doesn't mean that the average woman is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with a guy stepping out on me. So already this is providing the opportunity. And now that the camera switched, I think we're going to get into it.
Do anything to keep you monogamous to them, like just faithful to them.
I think you should clarify your question.
Yeah.
When you say, because when you say your man wants to fuck another woman, that means two very different things. Does he like fantasize about like other people sometimes? Because I'm sure even most women will fantasize about like a celeb or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or do they want to, like, would they given the opportunity to step out and do it and not get caught when they do it?
They would.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just saying those wants are two different things. So like when you say, would you want to be with a man who wants to fuck other women? Well, if you're saying like it's natural that every guy like has a fantasy or desire to, that's different than it's natural that every man will cheat.
Great point. That is always conflated when this conversation is being had. A guy who wants to screw other women is not the same thing as a guy who is going to cheat on you. Just because I want to screw as many girls as I can doesn't mean I'm going to if I have made a commitment to you. This is where he is starting.
Context of the conversation, how we pretexted him talking to those other girls and potentially having sex. I mean, I would assume she would infer that.
Potentially, yeah. But I'm saying like a woman saying that like I want a man that doesn't want any other woman, she's either retarded or that sentence makes perfect sense. It depends, right? Because if you're with a man who you don't ever want him to have desire for the woman.
When I said that, you understood that I meant he wants to be with other girls. He wants to other girls. You understood that, right?
Like will other girls given the opportunity.
Other girls given the opportunity.
Yes, of course he wants to. We all want to. Will he is the point that Destiny is hammering down on. And Myron has no response.
I mean, that's why she answered the way she did. So I think she understands it. But yeah, what?
We got you. Really, like absolutely, we got you.
He's such a creep. We got you. Like absolutely, really, we got you. What are you doing, bro?
You want a guy to be monogamous to you, and I'm simply saying that's not realistic in most situations.
You're absolutely right. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So why not?
You're right.
Why not adapt to reality and accept?
You're right. It's possible.
Yeah, cool. What about you? Would you be okay with your guy having his female friend still around that he had sex with in the past?
Never in a million years. Never.
So the only reason I ask is because I think that sometimes when we ask questions, especially poll questions, I think that sometimes the answers can be a little bit one-dimensional. Or there's another question asked. So like earlier we talked about how many partners does a person have and are they likely to divorce? And it's like 0 and 1 are the best number of partners to have. Yeah. And it's like, well, it could be that they're religiously, they found the one.
Yeah, there's other variables.
The video and the audio for this part, he clipped it in a different way just to make it shorter to help us out. So it's going to be off for a second, but then it goes back.
And then same thing with this. So like, does a girl care about a guy with like a 50 or 100 body count? Like, typically, if you ask a girl, they're not going to say they care. But realistically, if you're known in a community as a boy, or if you've got a lot of girls that you're talking to and your girlfriend finds out, because you're not going to tell her that you those girls, because no guy will say that. But if she finds out that you were one of those girls, like there a lot of problems tend to crop up to where the high body count guys do run into issues. You're just not going to show up on like a polling question.
I don't know about that. It makes sense. Because what he's saying is generally that, yes, having high body count as a man is generally a good signal in the dating market. It means that you are desired by other women. You know, they want to have sex with you, so these women should want to have sex with you. What Destiny is saying is that he doesn't know how well that is reflected in the social aspect that women kind of, especially in smaller groups, when you're in high school, when you're at college, when you're in a smaller town, the dudes who are those dudes are pretty well known. Like people know who they are. So it's a good point. I hope you enjoyed that short clip from an Indian Jesus live party. Click right here for another one or check out the full episode. Hope to see you at the live party every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.